Only 3 rounds remaining in the 2017 racing season, and the stars of Lucas Oil Pro Motocross have come to Unadilla Valley Sports Center with nearly 50 years of moto history, about to meet modern-day men and machines. And so far, we've seen just about everything motocross can throw at these riders. Joey Savacci wins our first 250 race earlier this afternoon, suffers a foot injury en route to that victory, but he said he's going to suit up and race Moto 2 a little bit later on. And then the skies opened up during our first 450 class race. Marvin Musquin, the Frenchman, had to win in a mutter. So this track is going to be brutal as we get set for our second motos today, right here on NBCSN. Upstate New York welcomes you to the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship, sanctioned by AMA Pro Racing. It's the 2017 Unadilla National, round 10 of our 12-race championship. Hello, everyone. Jason Wygant, joined by multi-time motocross and supercross champion Grant Langston. Georgia Lindsay's been out there braving the elements on the racetrack all afternoon long and will continue to do so. Here's our 4-1-1, and we'll explain how motocross works. The key is the 2-moto format. We have 2 classes that race this afternoon, 250cc engines and then the bigger 450cc engines. Each class races separately. They each race twice. We add the scores from both of their races to determine the weekend's overall winner. So the key in motocross always is consistency over 2 races. And the best finish in Moto 2 will break ties if we add up the scores and we end up with riders having identical finishes. Okay, so that's how we go racing. Let's show you what it looked like with highlights of our first Moto earlier today. It's our 250 class we're going to start with first here. They'll be racing in our first hour of our program. It's a little over an hour ago. 2 Kawasaki's battling for the lead early. On the inside, Joey Savacci in the 17, but Adam Cianciarulo, who came so close to winning our previous event in Washington State, gets out front, and we thought, well, you give him the lead, the motivation, this could be the day until this.
Yeah, just a simple little front-end tuck, and we've seen this from Cianciarulo several times. You know he's frustrated right there, tries to keep the bike running by holding that clutch in, pushes out that handguard, but there you see the 6 of Jeremy Martin going around the outside for second, drops him back to third. Yeah,
and then late in the race, Zach Osborne, your series leader, doing what he has done all season long. 2 laps to go, makes the charge. Cianciarulo tries to get him back. Osborne cuts across at the bottom of this U-turn, and then they drag race up the wall. Osborne has the spot that would allow him to finish in third, and then Cianciarulo would drop 1 more and eventually finish a frustrating 5th, while Savacci goes on to take the moto win. But you see him pointing down to his leg. Said he ran into a lap rider late, and that lap rider's foot peg on his machine ran right into his foot, so he was in some pain. But he says he will be back to race this second moto that's coming up here in a few minutes. See, Cianciarulo ends up 5th there, as we mentioned. Ferrandis 6th, Sexton, Hampshire, Harrison, Shane McElrath. That rounds out your top 10. We're going to take these results and combine them with the race that's forthcoming here to determine an overall winner today at Unadilla. But as of late, Zach Osborne might be the series leader, but Joey Savacci is the hottest property in this class. And we're ready to go racing at the Spring Creek National. Joey Savacci wins the first moto, and it's all paid off. Osborne salvages what could have been a terrible day, but Joey Savacci wins here at Spring Creek. Joey Savacci on the 17, last week's winner from Minnesota. Savacci wins the moto. Let's see how the math turns out. It is going to be Joey Savacci with 7-1 scores, winning the overall. Welcome back to Unadilla Valley Sports Center. Difficult enough with 2 wheels, let alone 1. I guess the weather conditions, we had all that rain earlier, they mustn't be too bad. We're able to do this. Now on the other side of the fence is the actual racetrack. Let's show it to you with our MX versus ATV track map.
Yeah, drop that gate, come down this famous Unadilla start straight, make a right into the first turn. Hopefully you get that motorsport.com hole shot. Another right past the control tower into your first left-hander under the spectator bridge, which allows you to get from the inside to the outside of the track. Then left, drop down in a gravity cavity, through the gears, scrub this jump, try and stay low over the Lucas Oil finish line jump. Right-hander past the VIP section, beautiful step-down jump into this new part of the track, flowing left, then right in front of a huge crowd that have still stuck it out through this weather. Unbelievable. Little right-hander there over this fun tabletop, land into some braking bumps. Sharp left, come over this tabletop. Through here, they've changed it up a little bit, multiple options. We'll have to see what they do now after the downpour. Track has changed. Into the top part of the track here, make a left-hander. This section right over there, off camber, uphill, gravity and everything pushing you to the outside. You got to try and keep it tight. Got to get over that Lucas Oil step-up jump, which is going to be extremely tough now. Double left-hander, which you can swoop and make it one left. Then over that huge Red Bull tabletop. Fans love it over there. Chicane at the bottom of the hill. Then you climb back up, make a right-hander, and you go off the steepest hill, which with how slick it is now, you got to be very, very careful off there. Turn left hard, on the gas, up the steep climb. A few more rollers, one more left-hand, and that's a lap here at Unadilla.
And one of these days, it might be the day for this guy, Adam Cianciarulo, who's so close to winning at our last race at Washougal, and appeared he might win the first moto earlier today until a crash, and then a late bad couple of laps left him in 5th. Let's show you what happened to him at the last one. Oh, Cianciarulo banging bars with Ferrandis. Oh, Cianciarulo, I did not see. I didn't think it would be close enough. You saw it happening.
Adam Cianciarulo right now, he is just fighting for that win. He said this morning, I just want that win so badly. He's like, yes, 4th and 5ths are okay, but he's like, I need that win.
Oh, and Cianciarulo said, I'm putting the bike in front of you, Dylan Ferrandis.
Hampshires is not only just...
Cianciarulo would still have the overall if he can hold on to 4th, but look, Ferrandis is right there. Oh, Ferrandis is down to the inside. You know Cianciarulo doesn't want to let him have it. Dylan Ferrandis has ripped the overall away.
I wonder if Cianciarulo has any idea what that one little pass just meant.
Savatgy wins the moto. Cianciarulo 5th. Let's see how the math turns out. It is going to be Joey Savatgy with 7-1 scores, winning the overall.
There have been a lot of ups and downs for Adam Cianciarulo, but right now he's having a very consistent season. He's been healthy all year. His lap times, qualifying times have been great, but still, I just spoke to Mitch Payton, the team owner, and he said there's a positivity. He still wants to get up there, and it's a positive feeling, not negative, so I think he's ready to go. He's still a young guy, and he wants that win.
But the 5th in the first moto, he's going to have to hope for the same type of miracle that Savatgy had last week to try to pull out the overall after throwing it away at Washougal late or losing it late. He said he's coming out here 100% to try to win at Unadilla. It looked good for a while. It came undone in the first moto. It's his teammate, Joey Savatgy, that has everything going his way. Let's see if he can make a 3 straight overall wins of the number 17 next. 7. As the championship run continues, we're back to motocross here, Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. Here's the KTM keys to the moto now after the storm.
Well, I'm going to throw you a curveball just like Mother Nature did to us. We had a 2-hour and 20-minute delay, so the motos are now going to be shortened to 20 minutes plus 1 lap. The track is going to be brutal. No one really knows what to expect. And, of course, at the end of the day, someone has to win. This is historical. I don't ever recall races being shortened. We've been delayed so much. I mean, the weather was just crazy out there. But at least we're going to go racing. It might get sloppy. They're all clean now, but it's going to be fun.
It's got to be so muddy out there. We had the 2-hour, 20-minute delay, and I'd say, what, an hour and 45 of that was full rain? We had
lightning, which was the main reason. We didn't stop for the rain itself. It was the lightning and the safety issue. So, But yeah, what you're saying, the rain really has affected this track.
Yep, there's standing water everywhere. This should be pretty interesting. All right, Liz has got the 30-second card from Fly Racing up, and the riders are going to have to endure this. 20 plus 1 is still a long time in a mud race, and we'll see. This is the potential, hey, anything can happen scenario in motocross. The revs are up, the gate is down. Let's see who can survive a muddy race day at Unadilla.
Oh, look at that freestanding water. Oh, my goodness. Start is crucial. Who's going to get it?
Jeremy Martin and Justin Cooper, the rookie, his first pro race, his second. Oh, Jeremy almost goes down, but he's able to hold the lead. And look, instantly, everyone else besides Jeremy Martin is covered in mud. Well, Kawasaki's off the track on the inside, got to sneak back on. But Justin Cooper, in his first pro race, has got the start in a mud race. So critical, and he's right there.
I cannot believe how many fans stuck it out through this delay. Look at them. They are cheering. You know, they're pumped to see racing. We could hear them as the riders came by. Look at the riders. A lot of them having towels hanging off the side of their pants, so if they fall, they can clean their gloves off, hopefully have some grip. But yeah.
I think that's Ferrandis, who just got passed, actually, by the 31 of Hampshire. So Dylan Ferrandis gets pushed back a spot. Hampshire's on the move. He wants to get around Justin Cooper as well as Jeremy Martin, who finished second in the first moto earlier today, realizes this could be his chance to get the overall win for the weekend. But Justin Cooper airing it out.
Cooper just went for it right there. only one of the top riders to get over that tabletop. Well, we heard him say if he expects top 10, maybe even a little bit better, well, your first race as a pro, you have a chance now to really show people you made up. Oh, look at that. Hampshire just got blasted by a face full of that sloppy, muddy water, going for some clear vision.
And he's got Ferrandis right behind him. Cooper, Hampshire, Ferrandis battling. Oh! And Hampshire almost went down, then almost stalled the bike. Ferrandis had nowhere to go, right into the back of him. No, that's no longer Ferrandis.
Yeah.
That is now the 23 of Plessinger, who is no slouch in these conditions. And look at Plessinger airing it out, trying to make the move.
And he does. Gets over that step up. That's one of those things, if you can do that constantly in the mud, that's a big, big advantage. So Plessinger making it happen. You've always said, Jason, he loves the nastier it gets, the better he does. His father, a famous off-road racer. And just to fill people in, I know I normally do the track map. They are not going to be going down to that steep hill and the U-turn at the bottom because, well, I think I said in the earlier show, you actually gain speed on that hill if you start braking because you slide. So fortunately for these guys, able to avoid it. That was really nice.
Yeah, they rerouted the track around that. Look, we got water here in the bottom. This is headed to the old finish line at Unadilla where they hook back onto the start. And they're going to have to get through that every lap. See if these bikes can run for 20 minutes in a lap in these conditions. We normally do 30 minutes and 2 laps. So we've cut 10 minutes in a lap out of the allotted race time. But these bikes are still going to be straining. This is Plessinger here, who has moved up to 3rd, ahead of Hampshire, behind Cooper and Martin. But as you mentioned, Plessinger, Aaron, who himself rode a lot of off-road races, and they'll ride under all conditions for hours in the woods in the mud. But his dad, Scott, one of the best mud riders in the world back in his day, they'd race all the time in the mud. He was an off-road champion, and there's no doubt there's a lot of mud riding experience for Aaron. Plus, he's got those long legs, just in case the bike gets sideways, he can hold himself up. So, just all that probably leads to him going in this moto saying, let's get it on. I'm excited about these conditions.
Yeah, there's not too many guys to get pumped up for the, to line up for something that's going to be this tough and gnarly. That's Joey Savacci, Moto 1 winner. So he's in a decent position, 6th at the moment. So we'll have to figure out the overall at the moment. Martin would have the overall. But of course, still a fair amount of racing to go.
Oh yeah, it's so easy to have problems. We talk about goggles, we talk about grips. One other thing is brakes sometimes.
Yeah.
Start going away.
Well, a lot of times what the teams will do is they take out the, the brake rotors that have the venting in them. And the reason they do that, obviously, is for heat. But they'll put a solid disc on. That way it tries to help eliminate some of the sand getting in there and then grinding, because what happens is...
Oh, that's Martin, your leader, way off the racetrack.
I think that was...
No, that was the racetrack.
Yeah.
That actually was
I think that was his line. Find the higher ground.
Okay, whatever it takes. Yeah, he was on the track, just not even near the normal race line. So Jeremy's making it happen right now in the Geico Honda.
Yeah, he is.
And you notice, yeah, you said the towel tucked in. That's something riders will do if they fall down. They'll try to wipe the grips on the motorcycle and their gloves to get mud off. Clear skies to a degree now on the horizon.
Beautiful day in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Upstate New York.
Roll out those 2 hours that we had of delay. It's been beautiful. Oh, man.
That's one of the lowest points of the upper part of the track.
All right, so we're already
there.
doing the Geico. 15 minutes to go, only 5 minutes into the race. So the Geico Honda rider's in the lead, 15 minutes to go, and in 15 minutes you can save 15% or more on your insurance by calling Geico. And we're going to show you what it looked like earlier today. Our Garmin course preview was not nearly this muddy, but it will still sound cool because we have the 2-stroke of Jared Stanke. He's going to show you exactly what it feels like to race at Unadilla. I believe this is Martin here, and you can see how different the conditions were in the first moto compared to what he's dealing with now, although he doesn't care because he's out front this time. Motocross will continue here from Unadilla. Well, just last week, Justin Cooper was here running the number 17 at Loretta Lynn Ranch. That was the Rocky Mountain ATVMC Amateur Motocross National presented by Lucas Oil. And that's a week-long event where the best of the next get to prove themselves. And Cooper was the outstanding graduate. He won both of his classes. And for that, the AMA presented him with their coveted Nikki Hayden AMA Amateur Horizon Award. The best of the best have won that award before. So there he is, the young man out of Long Island, actually. So he's a New York native, now making his pro debut here 1 week later and running in second in this moto behind Jeremy Martin, who you're watching right now as your leader. So Justin Cooper, way to get it going. I guess whether you're an amateur or a pro, you know what you got to do in a mud race. Start up front.
Yeah.
So he figured that out. There he is.
Yeah, get a good start in the mud. That is 75% of the moto, maybe. I mean, just getting a good start helps you out tremendously, because look how these guys end up spreading out.
Yeah, Plessinger back there third, there's fourth. Yep.
You know, it's not a big, hectic, you know, battle 3 wide. It just gets spaced out in these conditions, so.
Yeah, he's not dealing with any pressure from ahead or behind. And I'm sure being raised up here in New York, he's ridden a lot of mud races. And one thing unique about him, a lot of kids these days, they go and ride at training facilities year-round to learn the craft of racing a motocross bike, but he's still kind of old school and did most of his work at the racetrack. He would just go to the local races on weekends, and you know how that works. They're going to race rain or shine. So I'm sure he's got a lot of experience in the mud, especially being a New York native. Not experience on this track, though, because Unadilla pretty unique. They only hold one motocross race on this track a year. That's this one, the pro race.
Oh, and look who's coming.
Plessinger.
Yep.
Oh, no! Long legs or not, he couldn't hold himself up. Plessinger's down, so now this is the problem. He's going to stick that grip right in that slippery mud.
Throttle hand as well, then wheelies through a puddle. And the worst part is when the grip is wet and muddy and your glove is wet and muddy, all of a sudden your throttle control goes out the window because you can't even really hold the throttle properly. So that's why you see these guys with a towel. They won't dry it, of course. They're not trying to dry it, just trying to get majority of that, you know, mud out of the way so they can have a cleaner contact.
Jeremy Martin, 2-time series champion in this class and was second in points coming into this event, but last couple races have been pretty disappointing for him. 9 and 6 in the motos at Washougal at our last event. That's subpar for a championship caliber rider. He's usually in the top 3 at least. So this is a big shot in the arm to get second in the first moto earlier today and to be running away with it right now in Moto 2. Could be the weekend's overall champion, and that would be huge. Points-wise, Zach Osborne, your leader, is running 7th. I'm not going to make up a ton of real estate, but he needs the confidence out of this. This is Ferrandis, who has taken the spot away from Plessinger. So it should be Justin Cooper second, Hampshire third, and then Ferrandis. I cannot believe that's the way the racetrack looks like.
Yeah.
In that corner. Pure ruts and mud.
I don't think there's too many riders complaining about the race being short, because even though it's 20+1, it's going to feel like a 30+2 for these guys.
Well, how physically demanding is it? They're not obviously pushing the pace to the absolute nth degree that they would under perfect conditions. But is it tiring in another way?
Exactly. It's mentally tiring because you're constantly just trying to keep yourself upright, and your brain's going a lot because you're trying to figure out, okay, I don't want to go submarine the bike, so stay out of the water. Is someone catching me? Where can I push? You know, where do I be conservative and don't throw it away? So, you know, there's a lot of things that go through it. And this is what's also weird is a lot of riders have never really been in this position where you can prepare for something like this. You can go ride in the mud by yourself and be like, oh, I was slipping around, I was having fun. I was like a drifter out there. But now, when you're in a situation with, you know, it's not fun. It's like you've got to go as fast as you can in these conditions because you're trying to earn points and win a championship or get an overall. It's a different ball game. So I think every lap, every minute, these guys are adjusting their thought process, what they're going to do, what they're not going to do, where's it drying out, where should I change my line? Because you see, like, so there's Osborne.
Yep.
So he's in 6th place at the moment. And, you know, based on talking about it earlier, with his points lead, as long as he's around this position for the rest of the season, it's not even going to become close.
And with 6th place right now, he would still be on the podium for the weekend. He'd have a 3rd in our first moto earlier today, and a 6th here. A 3-6 would get it done. If it ends like this, he'll still be third overall, and that's what Osborne has really specialized in this year. He's won the most races, but more importantly, he's minimized the damage the most on the bad races. And he's going to work again. Zach Osborne, your series leader, showing why out here on a tough day at Unadilla. August 26th, the Red Bull Signature Series takes you to Madrid as the world's top freestyle motocross riders bring their best tricks to the bullfighting ring. It's Red Bull X Fighters August 26th on NBC. And no tricks here. No treats either. This is just old-fashioned slop fest mud bog racing. And Jeremy Martin, I don't know if he's the best mud rider, but he got the best start in the mud race, and he knows what to do from there.
Yeah, well, getting the start is like 3/4 of the battle. Now it's just a matter of, you don't have to push, you don't have to throw in those amazing lap times. It's just a matter of playing the game correctly, which is take that brief split second to make a wise decision. Don't go and submarine the bike. Don't end up running into a lapper. Don't get stuck behind it. You know, it's just, you almost have to change a little bit from attack to, you know, observe.
And the cross flags are out and now complete. Everyone has seen that they're halfway through this 20-minute and 1-lap moto. Martin has built the lead up to 4.2 seconds over Justin Cooper, who is second, the rookie in his first pro race. 12th in Moto 1, second right now in Moto 2. Then it's Ferrandis, Savacci, Osborne, Hampshire back to 6th. Looks like Osborne has made a pass there. Nichols 7th, Cunningham, Cianciarulo, Harrison. That is your top 10. As J-Mart continues to circulate, lines are actually starting to form out there now.
Well, now they getting rid of that slop on top, pushing it aside. So you'll start seeing that sort of a main line developing a little bit, where they're going to find a little bit of dry real estate down there somewhere. Only in a few spots. But at the same time, one of the reasons you'll see them running a lot of the same lines is just because it's predictable. You know, they know what they're going to deal with. So it's hard when you venture out because there's a lot of loose slop. You don't know what the bike's going to do.
Let's give you the motosport.com whole shot replay and show you how Jeremy Martin got the lead here in this mud race. He cannot complete that big uphill double, understandably, in these circumstances. First thing you mentioned, all the water just spraying off these machines.
Well, you see some riders going down in a straight line. It looked like the aquaplane in touch. And I tell you what, was that either Plessinger or... Yeah, it was Plessinger. Almost went down. The front end was skidding through that first turn, but watch this from the other direction. Right now, Jeremy Martin is going, yes, exactly how I planned it. If you ever want to get a whole shot, this moto was the one for the year. Out of 24, and then he almost threw it away right there, and then a few riders got a little lost out there on the side.
Yeah, got to be creative with the lines in a mud race like this. Especially here. They just don't want to drown out the bikes. Manages to get over that jump and back onto this start straight, waving the blue flags, telling the lap riders, here is your leader. He is Jeremy Martin, and he has opened it up to 5 seconds now over Justin Cooper. Could be a nice little points haul day for Jeremy Martin, who's clinging to a chance to still win this title. Back here on NBCSN, a wild, woolly day at the motocross races. The first moto earlier, perfect conditions. Then we had a crazy storm breakout here in upstate New York. But in motocross, we race under all conditions. So they're back out here for their scheduled second moto. They did cut the laps a bit. We went from a 30-minute race to a 20-minute race. And Jeremy Martin is out front in it. As bad as this looks, we've all seen worse mud races than this. It's not ideal under any circumstances, obviously, but they can get a dirt bike through a lot. They're showing it right now.
Yeah, especially nowadays, these four-strokes, they're pretty reliable. And even though this track is pretty, you know, it's pretty nasty looking at the moment, but it's not pouring rain. It's not a ton of freestanding water where, you know, you're thinking, oh, man, these bikes are going to, you know, start bogging down. They're pretty reliable. I think the hardest part is for the riders is just to stay mentally focused the entire time. Because one little lapse of concentration, and yeah, you'll be on the ground quickly.
And Plessinger is the one that did make that mistake. He was trying to close in for second place, and he crashed. He is now 11th. And Plessinger, one of the better mud riders out here, so he's going to be disappointed if he can only bring this one home with 11th. He was the one probably doing the rain dance between the motos when the clouds came in. watching this battle here. This is Hampshire in red. Or is that a lap rider? Looks like Ferrandis. So no, it's not Hampshire yet. Ferrandis comes through. That is third place behind Justin Cooper. And then Savacci, I believe, has moved up to fourth. Justin Cooper here. All right, that's not Ferrandis, that's Cooper. Shows that I know. Cooper is a rookie. It's his first pro race. A week ago, won the Amateur Horizon Award from the American Motorcyclist Association. Considered the next best thing coming out of the amateur ranks, but a unique story. Wasn't tabbed as a top prospect throughout most of his life. Wasn't winning on the mini cycles at age 8. Really came to his own in the last 12 months. And his plan a year ago was to graduate from the amateurs and come and race this race on his own as a privateer. But he broke his wrist at the amateur national final at Loretta Lynn Ranch a year ago. So he was hurt. So he couldn't come race here. He decided to stick it out and race amateurs for one more year. And then he really put the puzzle pieces together. Had a great season, a lot of amateur races, not just... That is Ferrandis, actually. Yeah, it is Ferrandis, yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't want to be the bearer of bad news, but they've been following Ferrandis. But,
well, I guess Ferrandis first. All right, I'm going to go back to that. This is Ferrandis. But anyway, Justin Cooper, who's up ahead in second. That one extra year of racing amateurs changed his life. He said it, no doubt about it. He signed to the big Star Racing Yamaha factory team for next season. And now should be able to make a good living as a motorcycle rider. Ferrandis just came through, who we were watching. And we're looking for Savacci, who would be next, our first moto winner on the green Kawasaki. And we see a Kawasaki jumping into gravity cavity right now.
That is not
No,
Savacci.
it's not Plessinger.
Savacci.
That's Savacci, yeah. I saw Yamaha real quick and thought, is that possibly Plessinger moving back forward? No, this is Savacci passing a lap rider. So no change in the order. It is still Jeremy Martin, Justin Cooper, Ferrandis third, Savacci here fourth. And then Zach Osborne should be next, your series leader on the Rockstar Husqvarna. Osborne, no stranger to these circumstances, lived in England for several years. And as he said, a cold day testing in Belgium in the fall will prepare you for anything. So Osborne can handle these conditions, no problem.
Yeah, I can attest to that one.
Yeah, you've probably been there, done that.
But for these guys, nothing really can prepare you for something like this.
All
you
right.
know, like you said, they race Unadilla once a year.
No goggles on Osborne.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's already got rid of them, so that's going to make it hard to attack at all. So I'm sure he's going to be complacent with fifth at this point, but when the lap traffic comes, that's when it's going to get a little tricky. Hey, Georgia, can you add on that?
They were taking off for the first moto when it got cancelled. He had the most perfect rut made for the beginning of the gate. And I said to him, previous to this moto, I said, hey, you had that rut looking beautiful. How are you feeling after this big break? And he goes, I'm feeling good, and I like it. One of the team guys said, yeah, he's been dancing in the rain. So there's obviously no negativity going Zach's way.
No, he said it over and over. It's a matter of perspective for him. And that's part of the reason he's been so effective throughout this championship season. Whatever you throw at this guy, he's been all the way to the bottom of this sport, to the point where he didn't think he'd be able to make a living as a racer anymore. Had to go to Europe just to get a paycheck and keep a way to stay on the motorcycle. So a little bit of rain is not going to bother him compared to that. Except the goggles, that's a real issue.
Yeah. Vision is crucial in these kind of conditions, especially if you want to move forward and try and attack. But watch these guys go to the outside, and then you see Osborne trying to hug the inside bank there just to get a little bit higher ground. Less water splashing up that could potentially go in the airbox and create a problem, but haven't seen that yet. And Georgia, you got any update on the weather for us?
About 5 minutes ago, it started just gently spitting, but now it's kind of continuously turning into more of a downpour. Umbrellas are up. You can see it in the puddles. So these guys, if they've lost their goggles, it's probably a good thing right now, because they're going to end up losing them just in this last lap.
Yeah.
I can't believe the difference this made. This feels like we did 2 minutes in one lap and said 20. This is over in a hurry.
I know. I just heard through the headset it was a white flag lap, and I'm going, oh my gosh, this is a fast race. And usually in the mud, it feels like they take forever. It feels like a marathon.
Jeremy Martin going to try to win this moto, and with it, he'd take the overall victory. Got one earlier in the season, but he really needed this one, man, the last couple races. His home race at Millville, Minnesota, didn't get on the podium there. That was considered a disappointment. Was just clinging to a top 10, actually, a week ago at Washougal. So for a guy who's won this title before, that is below par. But he's back on it, told us after the first moto they made some big bike changes during our weekend off. And it has paid off today. A solid performance in the dry in Moto 1, finishing second, and even better here in the mud. And looking for a 2-1 and an overall victory. And that's going to feel good for this guy. He needed it.
Yes, he sure did. And we always say weather can make the championship very interesting. You see riders just... He's going to have to go all the way back down, do a U-turn, might have to use the access road to get a little traction and then get back on track. It is slick out there. You lose your momentum, you're done. That's a little cutoff section, but Jeremy Martin, as far as the championship goes and the points, this is exactly what he needed. Go out and win the race and the overall, but more importantly, claw back valuable points and keep this championship not only alive, but a little bit closer to go to the next round.
He was 74 points down when the day began. If it ends like this, he'll make up 11 on Osborne, so that's certainly better. And just got to hope that luck begins to break his way. But the first order of business is to take care of your own business, and that's what Jeremy Martin did. And how about that? Able to fist pump even in the rain and the mud.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, one guy on the track knows exactly where he is, and that's this one. Whoa! And right in front of him, and he still is able to hold on and win and celebrate over the finish line. Oh, that was almost a disaster.
On his head more like, oh my gosh, that almost just went horribly wrong.
Justin Cooper, I believe, has come across in second, so way to do it in his first pro race. Probably got some mud experience, and we're going to show you.
Yeah, watch this replay. Look, Lapa goes down. Martin is like, oh, he tries to change, but look at those ruts, and he's... Oh.
Wow.
Put it this way, he made that look easy. See the hand on the head that he just did the... Oh my goodness, that was almost horribly wrong.
Looks like Ferrandis going to come in for third. Savacci and Osborne looking to round out the top 5. Well, we knew it was going to be crazy and muddy, and that's exactly what it was. From the start to the finish, there was chaos all over this slippery racetrack.
Yeah, they get to see a few little glitz.
Yeah, these are highlights, believe it or not. When you're racing in the mud on a dirt bike, this is about as good as it gets. Justin Cooper, a good job. Unfortunately, Aaron Plessinger threw it away. A lot of riders crashed. Jeremy Martin did not. Mitchell Harrison did. And the hardy motocross fans here in upstate New York and Unadilla Valley Sports Center, they're not going anywhere. It's raining again. They don't care.
They're loving it.
Yeah, they love this. We'll show you the racing that we just completed with the Lucas Oil race recap. Yeah, water everywhere right off the start. Jeremy Martin, though, is going to get the whole shot there. The number 6, Justin Cooper, the 191, starts second. Spoiler alert, that's where they're going to finish. This race got crazy. Here is Aaron Plessinger in third, trying to get Cooper for second. He goes down. Tough one for him. He'd end up finishing 10th. Even the best mud riders are not immune to trouble in these conditions. Yeah, see, a lot of riders having a problem. That is RJ Hampshire, who's running a good race. He still actually would recover for 7th despite this. Mitchell Harrison, who was in the top 10 in the first moto, he would crash here, finish up in 16th. It's like riding on ice out there.
Yeah, it's so slick. The berms are just breaking out. And then this right before the finish line. Jeremy Martin, he even has his hand on his head going, wow, that could have been, imagine that being taken out right in front of the finish line. Not your own doing, but wow, what a crazy race.
Yeah, so Jeremy Martin does get the win. Look, we still get a good crowd on hand here. They've been treated to several mud races through the decades at Unadilla. A storm is not going to scare them. All right, we'll be back here at Unadilla to talk to the winners in just a moment. Jeremy Martin has won the moto and the overall, made up some valuable points. We'll sort out the rest of the top 3 for the weekend after this. 500 next Sunday at 2:30 Eastern on NBCSN. Here in Pocono, not too far from us here in New York. Here are the results from our second 250 class moto today, Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. Jeremy Martin wins. That's not a surprise. He wins a lot of them, but Justin Cooper in his first pro race finishes second in this very muddy second moto. And Dylan Ferrandis, a fellow Yamaha rider, finishes third. Savacci, after winning the first moto, salvages a 4th here in the mud. And Zach Osborne, he's just trying to manage his championship. He'll take 5th under these circumstances all day long. Adam Cincerillo, RJ Hampshire, Kyle Cunningham, Colt Nichols, and Aaron Plessinger round out your top 10 of this second moto. We'll give it the rest. The Englishman Stephen Clark edges out Chase Sexton for 12th. Taft, McElrath, Joey Crown, that's his pro debut, finishes up 15th, young rider out of Michigan. Harrison Pennington, another rookie, first pro race for him, 17th. Curcio, Root, and Cody Williams round out your points-paying position. That's your top 20 of a 40-rider field in this moto. Wow, so it's crazy. Fans don't seem to mind it one bit. They are still here en masse at Unadilla. And we'll go to Georgia with our winner.
Yes, Jeremy Martin taking, wow, the overall. What a day. Ups and downs, breaks, carrying on racing. I mean, it was unbelievable, but you seemed incredibly happy taking that overall.
Yeah, you know, it's been a while. It's been since High Point, so we made some changes this week. It helped significantly and put us in a good direction, and I felt good. You know, if it wasn't for the whole Geico Honda team and you know, AMSOIL and everyone there for making the bike better and the man up above, because honestly, I don't know how I saved. I almost went down there because a lapper went down in front of me, and I was like, oh my God, how did I just save this? So I took it easy the last lap, went really, really slow to try to protect the lead and I could get the win, and I almost lost it there at the end due to a guy. So happy to walk away. I can't thank Pedro, my mechanic Kyle Lawler back home, and my mom and dad for prepping Spring Creek every day for me and getting ready for these nationals.
Huge congratulations. Well done. Jeremy Martin taking the overall. Well done.
So he's back on top, and he does cut 11 points off of Zach Osborne's lead this afternoon. Took it from 74 down to 63. Savachi moves into third in the ranks. Alex Martin, Jeremy's brother, who is still out with injury, drops from third of the points to fifth since he was not racing today. And Ferrandis quietly climbing up to fourth in the series. Not a bad first season in the United States for the Frenchman. Also aided by having a good race today. Let's go back to Georgia.
Yep, the rain is coming down again, isn't it, Joey? But after the first moto, we saw you did have, you know, a foot peg in the leg by a lapper, but you managed to get stuff together. You didn't take your boot off. How are you doing, and how did you pull through that second moto?
We're up here, so I'd say we're doing pretty well, but it's painful, but, you know, it's I'll live. I'm walking, and, you know, we were able to be up here. Start wasn't what we needed, and kind of spun a little bit, but you know, my Scott goggles were great. Actually, had enough tear-offs and then ran into a few lappers that last lap. Had to pull the goggles off, which was a bummer, but man, those Scott goggles really got us through that moto. It was a lifesaver because we didn't get a good start, but all in all, I'm stoked. I'm blessed to be up here. You know, it was a little bit of a delay, but the fans were awesome, and, you know, like I said, my Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki, we had a good weekend. Dunlop tires were awesome, and you know, Fox Specialized. You know, my girlfriend wasn't able to make it this weekend, so I know she's watching at home, and, you know, Domini and Ricky and you know, my dad and Johnny. We got a good circle, and you know, we're finally starting to make things happen. So I'm stoked and glad to get out of here in one piece.
We'll let you heal up your leg and get over that one. Congratulations, Joey, second place. And the other side of me, Zach Osborne. Zach, I caught you right at the beginning of that moto. You said, rain doesn't faze me. It didn't seem like it did, but the conditions were so tough. How did you get through that?
For sure, it was a tough moto. I got off to a mediocre start, maybe top 10, and wasted all my tear-offs pretty quick. But I managed to get it back together and take a fifth in the moto and just score some more points. So I'm happy with that, and good lead going into the last two here, so I'm feeling pretty good about my chances. And yeah, the guys are riding great, and I couldn't do much with them in that moto.
Well, congratulations, third overall on the podium. And not just that, he is also the team captain for Team USA in Motocross of Nations. Congratulations for that, too.
That's right. They announced the Team USA earlier, and Zach Osborne will have the team along with Cole Seeley and Thomas Covington, racing in England next month. Speaking of upcoming events, well, here's your upcoming schedule. For motocross, we have a highlight show of this race coming up midweek on NBCSN. Next week, we're going to Budds Creek, Maryland. MAV TV will have your first motos. We'll have a live moto on NBC next Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, and our second 250 moto at 7 p.m. next Saturday on NBCSN. Let's go back to Georgia.
What a day for Justin Cooper. You said top 10, if not better, that you wanted to get second in that second moto. Did you expect that, and especially in these conditions?
Well, the start killed me in the first one, but was able to get out front with Jeremy and pace off him. I tried going after him a couple times, but track was just a little too one line, and yeah, it was just hard to pass out there, so just try to take it easy and be smart. I didn't really want to throw that one away.
Well, congratulations. First ever pro race, getting second in the second moto. Well done. A lot different to amateur racing, I'm sure you'd agree. Dylan Ferrandis, this weather, everyone says, oh, it's European. We can deal with these conditions, but it was definitely gnarly out there. How was it for you?
It's for everybody same, European or not, it's for everybody same. Was a big challenge this moto, but I mean, it could be worse. Like the track was really, I don't know say, but the water doesn't stay that much on a track, so we was, I think, lucky to have the batteries on that kind of track today. But I mean, yeah, the start was really important. I managed a good start, but I'm first lap. I have so much projection. I have to use my cheer off, and yeah, the guy passed me, so I had to fight out the motor for get back to third. I mean, it's good. It's a good point. I'm really sad to don't make a podium today, but I mean, it's like this. There is two more races to try to do some good race with podium and moto win, I hope.
Well, good job today. Well done.
And Dylan Ferrandis will be racing Motocross of Nations also as part of Team France. He'll have to go up against these guys. You see Osborne and Seeley on the left. Team manager Roger DeCosta on the right, and the AMA's Mike Pelletier. They're headed to England to race for Team USA next month.